As we all know, there are lots of controversies about how we came to this planet. Three major religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, believe that God created Adam and Eve and then sent them to the earth. On Earth, they had children, and I assume their children, brothers and sisters, married each other. And later on came grandchildren, who by necessity married each other. And then again came great-grandchildren, and so on. After several thousand years, things turned to what they are now, in the form of having a wide variety of humans in different shapes and colors, who somehow mutated from the original Adam and Eve's genes. They say, if you don't believe us, then you don't believe in God, and you are out of religion. Therefore, we have a choice. Either we have to accept the whole package from religious people, or be a refugee of our own religion and listen to scientists who say that this is nothing but a fairy tale made up by humans' imagination. Scientists not only refute this concept of creationism, but state that based on large number of scientific evidence, humans are creation of evolution, and we are descendants of apes. In this scenario, there is no place for Adam and Eve. In some ways, scientists themselves are not very much different from religious people, on accepting their perspective as fact, as the only way that we could have possibly come to existence, with no chance for any other scenario. This has created a very serious conflict between these two powerful and divergent perspectives in our understanding of the world. The possibility of having a dialogue between these two parties would be similar to the possibility of dissolving oil in water, which is not impossible. We just need some soap. Imagine someone looks at religious people and says, "You know what? You are right. We are children of Adam and Eve." Then he or she turns his or her face to scientists and says, "Guess what? You were right too. We are descendants of apes." How is it possible that we are children of Adam and Eve, and at the same time descendants of apes? How can we add these scientific theories to those religious beliefs? Life has been on this planet for hundreds of millions of years. It started with a strand of DNA, then cells, then sea creatures and land animals, and finally humans walked upright on this planet. Humans evolved and turned smarter and smarter until they turned to the smartest animal on this planet. Their big and constantly growing brain allowed them to think. They were the only thinking animal on Earth. Then they turned into fascinating problem solvers. This unique ability helped them to invent new skills for their constantly evolving demands, and to find unique solutions for their problems. This was something that their instinct couldn't do for them. Later, they made tools. They made shelters, and they made clothes. They spread all around the world. They dominated Earth. And finally, they learned how to talk in detail and clearly. This was something that other animals couldn't do, no matter how advanced and sophisticated they were. This was the most advanced way of communication with each other that made humans the absolute king of Animal Kingdom. Humans were on top of their game in the Animal Kingdom when the biggest advancement in human history took place. Something much farther than millions of years of evolution, something that turned humans from animals to what they are now. This was a new, uncharted territory for them. This was something that humans could not predict even in their wildest dreams. This was a jump from a human race, from an earthly life to a heavenly one. It was a transformation point, separating them from all their close and far relatives on Earth, a selection far beyond natural selections that they had experienced in the past. The Creator had selected them for a detailed plan. God, best of the best creators, had a plan for his best of the best creation on Earth. He was the one who had led humans all the way through their path of evolution. He was the one who had slowly purified humans' gene, walking them through all stages of evolution and naturally selecting them step by step to be the smartest one in the animal kingdom. The Master Creator had his master creation ready. When everything was prepared, and when the time was right, God chose this thinking and talking animal as a vehicle for our souls. He led us to enter Earth by entering humans' body. Adam and Eve were the first people who carried this responsibility, and were blessed to be the first representatives of God on Earth. But how exactly this big turn in human history happened? We don't have any clear memory of Adam and Eve, but we know how Jesus came to this world. He was created without being genetically linked to a mother or a father. His body was shaped inside his mother's womb. Then his soul was breathed into his body, and he turned alive. He was born, lived, and died amongst millions of people around him. He was born, lived, and died after millions of people before him. He was born, lived, and died before millions of people after him. He was born, lived, and died right in the middle of human civilization. Let's imagine at the time of creation of Jesus, a woman was created in the same way. Let's imagine that woman was exact female version of Jesus, formed inside her mother's womb without being genetically linked to a mother or father. Let's imagine she was born exactly at the time Jesus was born. Let's imagine that woman grew up with Jesus, and as an adult she married him, and later they had lots of children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren who spread all around the world, and this would be the story of Adam and Eve. Quran says, "The story of Jesus is like that of Adam. Creation of Adam and Eve was like the creation of Jesus. Jesus did not fall from heaven on a bare land without any human beings. Adam and Eve also did not fall from heaven on a bare land without any human beings. Like Jesus, Adam and Eve's creation was not the beginning of human history. They came to the earth right in the middle of human history, after all the ups and downs of evolution. They were born like Jesus, and they were raised like Jesus, amongst humans who had been on the earth for millions of years. Their creation was a transformation point in human history, from animal-like descendants of apes to people who carry God's Spirit and are children of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve's creation was a part of evolution, and evolution was a part of Adam and Eve's creation. One would not be complete without the other. Human creation and human evolution are not contradicting each other. They are completing each other. This idea that theory of evolution contradicts the existence of God is one of the most illogical ideas I have ever heard. There is absolutely no logical correlation between this statement that we are genetically related to other animals and that conclusion that God does not exist. I simply don't understand it. Even when I was a teenager and for the first time heard about Darwin's theory, I could not understand the logic behind that conclusion. It is like saying, rain comes from clouds, therefore God does not exist. Just doesn't make sense. Darwin himself was not very impressed with the conclusion that was implied from his theory. In a letter to his friend once, he wrote that we cannot come to a conclusion on this issue. On the other hand, this long movement to prove that the theory of evolution is wrong also does not make sense. Nothing is wrong with the theory of evolution. It proves that we humans are attached to our beautiful Earth gene by gene. It shows how beautiful and sophisticated our creation is. Theory of evolution is a landmark in history of science. This is where science proved that religion is right, and there should be a super-intelligent creator creating this extremely complex ecosystem we call Earth. This theory taught us that Earth is a single entity made of all of us and made for all of us. It shows how caring and loving God is. It proves how thoughtful and complex creation is. No matter we believe in evolution or not, we are still evolving. Humans' creation is not done yet. Our evolution is our creation. Creation and evolution are so intertwined with one another that we cannot tell them apart anymore. Our bodies are evolved from apes, but these bodies have been a vehicle for our souls since the most prominent stage of human evolution, which was creation of Adam and Eve. We are true descendants of apes, and at the same time, true children of Adam and Eve. There is no controversy between scientific theories and religious beliefs about creation. Indeed, these two are complementary of each other. How we came to this planet is not matter of creation or evolution. It is matter of creation and evolution. So far we learned about our creation and evolution. But how about now? Did God create Adam and Eve, then left us alone to multiply on our own, as some people think? No. Each one of us has his or her own story of creation. First our body is created, then God blesses our body with his soul. Later, with death, our body goes back to the cycle of Earth's ecosystem and turns back to soil. Creation and evolution are all about our bodies and have nothing with our souls. For example, in Quran there are several stories about how our body was created, but there is absolutely nothing about creation of our soul. This is because our soul has not been created. Our soul is a part of God's soul. In Quran, almost every single story of human creation finishes with this statement. So when I completed his body, I breathed into him my soul. Our soul is an eternal entity that is breathed into our body. It was never born, and it will never die. Our soul is the one that tells us apart from other animals. Accepting this responsibility of carrying God's soul was the reason for changing from descendants of apes to children of Adam and Eve. Now this question arises that how our body and soul interact with each other. Current Jewish, Christian, and Islamic teachings, under the influence of ancient Greek philosophical beliefs, claim that our soul enters our body with birth and stays in there until we die. Based on their teachings, our soul is jailed in our body and will be freed when we die. This is a wrong belief. Our body is not a prison for our soul. Our body is a school uniform for our soul, who attends the school of earth. Let's explain this with an analogy. In our early childhood, we stayed at home and learned basic skills of life, such as walking and talking. After years of learning new skills at home, and when we were old enough to enter a new level, we went to school to learn more advanced skills and to get prepared for our duties as an adult. During this time, every day we put on our uniform and went to school in the morning and came back home in the evening. We did this for years until we graduated from school and entered adulthood life. Let's imagine this scenario, that every day as soon as we entered our school, all memory of our home would be temporarily blocked, and later, as soon as we returned home, our memory would come back to our brain. In this case, if somebody in the school asked us, "Who are you? Who are you?" we would say, "I am a resident of this place. I live here." "Where is this place? How did you get here?" "I'm not sure. Maybe by evolution or creation." "Why are you here?" "I'm not sure. I'm here to enjoy my life, to find happiness." "Where do you go at the end of every day?" "That was easy. I go to sleep." What is the end? Death. Disappearing from the face of the world, which is scary. They look silly because we know the truth, and our memories are not blocked. But for the poor student, these are some of the most complicated philosophical. Let's change the scenario. This time, our memories are not blocked. Who are you? I am a student. Where is this place? Where are you from? I am coming from my home. Why are you here? I am here for learning and teaching. Where do you go at the end of every day? I go back home. What is the end? What is the end? Graduation. I might come back to learn more. Life means attending School of Earth. In this school, we are both students and teachers. Every morning, we wake up to our school with a blocked memory of our home. We spend whole day on Earth trying to learn something. Some of us learn a lot, and some, nothing. At the end of every day, we go back home. Where our home is depends on who we are. Some people are coming straight from heaven, and some straight from hell. But most of us are coming from somewhere in between. Life is not a tunnel that we enter its darkness with birth and leave it with death. Life is not a prison. Life is a beautiful ocean, and we are scuba divers, every morning diving into deep water, looking for pearls. At the end of every day, we go back home to count what we have earned. Sometimes we come back home with hands full of pearls, and sometimes empty-handed, wasted our time fooling around. We do this task of attending School of Earth every day for years, until we die. Death is not the end. Death is when we take off our uniform, body, permanently, and throw it into the recycling basket of Earth, to be reused by another student in the future. Death is a permanent sleep, and sleep is a temporary death. Death is going back home and staying there forever. Death is our graduation from the school of earth. Some of us graduate with a PhD, and some barely finish their first grade. What is after our death? Living in heaven for eternity, and enjoying a lazy and joyful life. Or entering another stage, starting another fight, and going through another pain and suffering for another cause. I don't know. Is Earth a kindergarten, a primary school, a secondary school, a university, or all in one? I don't know. Are we all going to another universe for another school and another life, entering another body? Or only some of us are qualified to continue farther? I don't know. Are we coming back to Earth for another life, as some people claim? I don't know. What was before our birth? Have we been to another universe in the past, entering different sort of body, before coming to Earth? I don't know. Have we all been allowed to enter human's body, or only some of us were blessed to come to Earth? I don't know. There is a lot that I don't know, and very little that I know. The only thing I know for sure is that there was no beginning to our soul, and there will be no end to it. We live in a poly-universe of unknown number of parallel universes. Where I am writing this paragraph can be in the middle of a highway in another universe, or in the middle of an oven in a different one. Each universe has its own rules and regulations and inhabitants. Maybe we have been in some of other universes before coming to this one. Maybe that is why we have odd feelings and strange desires that do not match with this universe. For example, the desire to fly, the passion for speed, the joy of feeling high by consuming alcohol or other substances. Maybe we are not from this neighborhood. Maybe we are just a visitor. We are aliens from another universe parallel to this one, every day entering our body and coming to this universe to play the game of life, to attend the school of Earth.